Okay, let's go to Montreal. 12:30, pretty good.
Let me see your tooth. Looks pretty good.
I'm just trying to focus up and get my life right now.
I know my hands, I have scaffolding. Looks like it seems like I'm the only one on the scene that's living that dreams right now.
Connection, satisfaction, fulfillment,
Creativity, pleasantness, friendship, and blessings. That's what it is. She was driving all day. She drove the whole way.
My wife always drives. I don't.
They're the best.
The best.
We're an MTL.
And welcome back to another episode of 11 Wins Podcast.
I'm your host, 11.
My name is Winnie.
And today we are sitting with a genius of Cannabis. We've been chatting online for a long time, and we brought a dream to life of bringing a podcast to another province. Winnie?
Please put your joints up and your hands together for
Paget!
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Super excited to be with you.
I'm just also realizing, how are your eyes? Do you think you need your other glasses?
Sometimes it's nice with this nice bright light. I need to have protective glasses.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you feel like you want that, we can do that because we're here for a little while.
Winnie knows about these cool glasses he has because we toured the facility and there's very bright lights in there, and he had equipped with, are they blue lenses?
Yeah, so they're, a little bit of a shout out here. They're Method 7 grow glasses. And actually, Method 7 is the company if you want to get grow glasses to protect your eyes in the grow. They're just great glasses. They work real well. And, I have glasses, so I was able to get a prescription pair. It's a service they offer as well. So you don't have to, put clip-ons and damage your glasses. You can switch throughout. It's actually pretty sweet.
We got right to the products right away. Second thing said, but y'all are going to get a lot of game like this. This man has been in the game for time.
So we went and checked out our homies in Montreal, 514, Great White North Growers. They're our partners in our upcoming Paradox Live. So we had to go see how they bring this Amnesia Haze to life. Paget, the director of Cultivation, led us through how he does things. And oh my, let me tell you. Man, they got a beautiful facility. You could eat off the floors in here. We didn't drive 6 hours for just the poutine, though. It was cool to see what lights they were doing. And what they're growing and how they use it. Winnie loves the smell of that. It's so soothing, like the sound of music.
Yesterday, we got to do a facility tour inside.
Yeah, how was that? Did you guys enjoy it? What did you think?
I loved it. I was telling our off-screen friends here that I love the smell when I first walked in so much that I want to bottle it up and put it in a perfume and wear it on a daily basis.
You should probably speak to an LP about making terpene infused perfume. I'm sure it's something somebody should do. So, hey.
Okay, first off, we have so many places to go. You took us by hand and shown us your grow here at 514 Great White North Growers. Amazing work. Salute, bravo. Right off the top, we got to give those flowers, show that respect. Y'all have a really good vibe going on here. But I do want to start off by saying congratulations as well on your recent Karma Cup win for that Amnesia Haze. What?
Yeah, thank you. We were lucky. Look, I take all the credit, and I'm kind of here doing the stuff, right? I'm on the camera, but it's teamwork, right? So everyone here put in a lot of work, and the team here is super happy. We took home 3rd place for the sativa flower category, and then we also took home 3rd place for the pre-roll category. So yeah, super excited about that.
This guy, we were with him all day yesterday. Every time we gave him props for anything, the first thing that he said was, "It's not just me.
It's about the team. Shout out Jesse. Shout out Tony.
The entire team." So yeah, we know that all of 514 is doing good work here, which is wonderful. We're having, it seems, a few technical difficulties, if you can see behind the camera.
Yeah, lights will be going on and off. We are shooting on location, so you're not just that high.
But yeah, but I would love to take it back to
tell us your story, bro.
Where your relationship with weed started.
Yeah, so me and cannabis, it's been a long time. Honestly, I've been consuming cannabis for a long time, probably since way younger than a human being should.
Like 4 years old?
Not that young, not that young. Definitely right out of grade school, though. It's been something that's been around for my entire life. It's something I've used for many different reasons, and it's always kind of helped me. I never really got into the growing side until I was a little bit older. I was cooking. My story's been told a lot of times, but yeah, I was cooking, wasn't working out as much as I'd wanted it to. I was looking for other ways to make money. I kind of got into the game as a trimmer at Aurora way back in, I think it was 2018, or 2017, sorry. And then when that happened, I was able to kind of work my way up. I saw that I wanted to be a bigger part of the industry. I saw that there were some things I wasn't happy about in the industry, or I didn't think was maybe the way it should be. And from there, I decided I wanted to be a bigger piece of it. So I kind of worked my way up. I went from Aurora. I followed a buddy, Alexander Gauthier, who, if you guys don't know who that is, you should go check him out. He's doing some crazy stuff in the industry.
Oh, you're allowed to swear.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, so he's doing some great stuff. Shout out to Origin Nature. You know, it's a great Quebec company doing a lot of things right.
Yeah, we just met them at the Karma Cup too, and then when we were first having our dinner together, I pulled out these joints, and you recognized them by the pre-roll. You're like,
Okay, I honestly can't remember the name, and I probably should, but give them a dry pull and check it out.
These are Origin Nature's
It's for camera.
the joints, so we each have one of his pre-rolls.
In Toronto?
Yeah,
Where'd you see him?
at Karma Cup.
Oh yeah, you're at Karma.
And I was walking around, we made eye contact, and we just started chatting, and then he gave me a handful of these. I brought them over to the table, and they were all like, whoa, what the fuck, this tastes amazing. I went back, he gave me another handful, we started chatting.
like that's so sick that we had that overlap. Y'all know each other.
Quality stuff, quality flower, right? So I followed him out to Title Health Solutions. I did a little bit there, ran into some personal stuff, and had to kind of come back to Montreal. And that's where I was lucky to meet the MTL Cannabis crew, the brothers Mitch and Rich. I got mentored by them for a bit, and then from there, we did the MTL Cannabis thing for a while. It became a time where they were doing their thing right, and it was time for me to maybe go do something else. I'm a startup guy. I'm a get things going kind of guy. I like the chaos.
You're not afraid to get in the mix like that. Yeah, bro, you're a builder. That's sick.
Were you always like that, like as a little guy?
I think I've always been attracted to chaos. I think it's something I enjoy about, like, I always used to cook, right? And the thing I liked most about the kitchen is there was no control. It's really like orders are piling in, you've got your mise en place, you've got
high
stuff
stress
going.
environments.
Yeah, and you just got to make it work, man. You got to find a way to make everything happen, to make all of the rest, all the orders go out on time and hot and properly cooked. That's it. There's so much to it that kind of, it's this nice chaotic symphony, and when it all goes right,
Ooh.
it's a beautiful thing, right?
Amen. Yeah.
I see a lot of that in cannabis cultivation, right? And then also just be drawn to the science of growing plants as well as just plants themselves.
Yeah, you're a botanist, if you will.
Sure. I mean,
You
know,
have a connection with this plant and know how to get results out of it. That's incredible.
That's definitely a thing, you know. I feel like I connect with plants in a way, I understand them, but it's not my own thing, let's say. I've read a lot of books. I've spent a lot of time and effort to really learn all of this stuff. And once again, like, the mentorship's key. I've been lucky to sit with a lot of good growers, to converse with a lot of good growers about anything cannabis related. And it's honestly been a blessing. And that's what's really driven me forward. As much as I've read all of these books and I've learned all of these things through time, I'd say the biggest thing that's allowed me to, like, really understand cannabis and really have that connection with the plant is more, you know, mentorship from other people. They've really shown me the way, and also it inspires a certain level of curiosity to kind of see how far you can take it.
What's
You inspired me when you said chef, so we don't have a grinder, so I'm just going to chop shit up like a G. Continue.
What's something that you learned through your mentorship that stands out in terms of cultivation that you hadn't known prior to mentorship?
I mean, look, I'd never grown a plant before I started working in the cannabis industry. It wasn't something that I did a whole lot of. So realistically, it's like everything that I know about plants, as much as I've read a lot of books, it's hand-on knowledge. So I'd say everything that I know today is thanks to someone who's been willing to share what they knew or what they've learned throughout their experiences.
Mentorship.
100%. It's everything, you know. Like, have I spent the time and the effort and worked with great people and been able to have some amazing results, but it's I can't claim any of that as my own. Alexander Gauthier always says we're standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yo, I've been saying that too. Even if you don't fuck with the Giants, honestly, sometimes you don't like the way your predecessors did shit, and I hear a lot of cocky millennials being like, "Fuck the older generation." I'm like, but you still wouldn't have what you have unless those prehistoric dinosaurs did that shit like that. So it's like you gotta move from where you are, right? So I fuck it.
100%. You know, like for me, I don't have the luxury of getting to sit around and say I'm a legacy grower. I don't have that black market experience when it comes to being a grower. It's really I'm I guess what you would call a new generation of legal grower.
Holy.
So I don't get to claim any of that, but I'm lucky to get to do what I do.
You're also not holding the pain of that time period.
Well, it's like I get to live a dream, right? I get to live a legal dream that I'm lucky enough to get to do because people before me were able to go out and fight for what they believed in, right? I get to go home and share with my 6-year-old daughter what I do for a living. And I get to go be proud of that, and so she can be proud of that. But it's not because of what I did, right? Yeah, I'm doing great things now, but it's more because of what people before me did to allow me to be able to do this. So
shout out, dude. That's sick.
What's one, like, maybe not so well-known frustration about cultivation?
I would say my biggest frustration is you can't trust machines. Realistically, if you don't know a whole lot about cannabis cultivation or cultivation in general, it's basically commercial agriculture. And all of our rooms are controlled by sensors. All of our machines are controlled based on what those sensors are reading and certain set points we're trying to achieve for various environmental factors like temperature, relative humidity, light intensity, irrigation, you name it, right? So
go see the vlog now. You will literally see what he's talking about. Sorry, continue.
No problem. And it's all of those things need to be calibrated. They need to be ensured that they're working properly. And, 99% of the time, I don't have issues with people. I don't have issues with making, like, the staff are great, the people do what they need to do, everything goes the way it needs to go, the plants perform, life's pretty good, but the one thing that always seems to go wrong is the machine's gonna break. It's the inevitable. Something's gonna break, and it's never gonna happen at a convenient time.
There is
no doubt. Remember the light is us we're talking about. You're killing it.
Yeah.
It's like Vincent Gagne of Biofloral, he has a saying that says plants can't wait. And honestly, there's no truer saying. If a light stays on at midnight, well, guess what? You're driving into the facility to make sure those plants don't flip back into veg and turn that light off, If all your ACs go down at 3 a.m, well, guess what? You're waking up and
they don't care.
You're going into the facility.
They need what they need.
They don't care that it's Christmas morning. They don't care it's Thanksgiving. When something breaks, you got to be there to fix it, right? So I would say that's the most frustrating part for me. But look, we have a lot of SOPs in place. We have a lot of like preventative maintenance plans and stuff like that to ensure that most of this stuff doesn't happen. But like I said, I like the chaos. So my job is coming in, setting up these kind of measures so that these things don't happen. So I always get to enjoy a little bit of a period where maybe it's not as perfect as you'd like it to be.
That's nice.
So cool,
it's
though.
nice to hear someone likes the imperfection.
Someone's got to do it.
And you trust the team to execute too, because that's another thing. It's only like recently this year we've had Benny, so it's like even letting my hands off the steering wheel of editing. It's like you have to know how to design something and see what you want, but also like trust people to execute. And that's an extremely good tool to have mentally too, is to understand how to delegate and communicate with a team. Like that's a whole other thing. So you learned that through the process first, like, because I think correct me if I'm wrong, you started the cannabis industry like at a job level, like trimming, right?
Oh yeah. So
And then
every position.
I mean, you don't have to say names if you don't want. I don't know what those relationships are like, but like, how did that process go? Because again, you're an inspiring first wave generation of like legal growers. Like you are the new school grower, right? So it's like, what was that journey like? Because that's super interesting as an industry.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's easy to manage a team of people doing jobs that I've done. I think that was a big thing that sets me apart from a lot of people is I didn't just get director of cultivation one day. I've worked every position. If it exists in cultivation, I've done it. I've cleaned, I've trimmed, I've been a grower. I've done every position that exists. So realistically, at this point, it's easy for me to go out and expect a certain standard of work from employees and teach them how to do what we want and maintain that standard of quality because, well, I've done all of that stuff. I understand how all of it works, but also on the other side of it is like, I'm more of a kind of person that I'd rather build something and then move on to the next thing. The reward isn't staying in a position for me. The reward is, well, I get to go on and do something new.
Yeah.
So I'd rather train other people and watch other people grow. Like I've trained 2 or 3 people at this point that are 3 people that are successfully managing facilities.
Oh my God.
And honestly, it's impressive to see when you take someone who's barely ever grown a plant before and you teach them what you know, and then they kind of take it in their own way and they go off and they run with it and they do their own thing. It's like, it's something that's impressive to see. It's a nice feeling. So
Humans are cool. They learn stuff. Like, it's crazy. You put something into them and it's like, I love that, dude. Congratulations. You're a builder perpetually.
How does a craft brand scale without losing the integrity as they expand? Or do you think that even happens?
So there's obviously a level where I think we can all agree that it's tough to add certain craft qualities. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of the craft distinction and this and that. I've seen a lot of craft distinguished cannabis that really isn't the greatest, but maybe it's just priced too high. Like for me, cannabis is directly related to its price point. You know, if it's $18 and it tastes like it's supposed to be $18, that's what I expect from it, right?
Yeah.
I've kind of been around long enough that I understand what to expect from certain price points, but it's just the craftness is really, for me, always being able to put that attention to detail to each plant. So like, as long as you're able to train your employees to be able to love each individual plant or give each individual plant kind of the attention that they need, I think you're still kind of sitting in that craft area, let's say.
Yeah, like
And
the
then-
artisan attention.
Yeah,
if you will.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you're at a point where like for us, it's important. There's a grower in the room at least once a week. But to be honest, like me and Jesse are in the rooms every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's someone physically going through and inspecting every individual plant at least once a week that isn't me and Jesse. On top of just the meticulous overseeing of all of that. At certain facilities, once you get to a certain size, it's almost impossible to have someone go check every single plant. When you have over like 10 million plants in your facility,
Yeah.
you can use certain AI systems to scout and you can do stuff like that. But at that point, we can all kind of agree that you've separated from that attention to detail, right?
Right.
Because it's just not plausible. Is the cannabis of lesser quality? I don't think so.
Okay.
There's definitely a lot of bigger grows that are putting out decent quality cannabis that really resonates with the category that they're trying to sell in, right? But that's why I find that craft thing is a little weird. It's like it's hard to say, because I don't feel like craft is directly related to quality.
Yeah, craft can still be shitty.
Yes.
I think when you hear craft,
yeah.
that like, but that's with
There can be shit anyway.
That's with beer
You
and
never
stuff
know.
too, right? Like not all craft beers are fantastic.
Pause for a great sound in the universe. Ready?
To hide that label, they're not paying us.
Yeah. Sorry, I just triggered your addiction.
What's your favorite part about growing plants?
I've never tried to grow plants yet. Oh, this is for Pat. Sorry.
and not just in Maybe weed, because I know that you're a plant. You have tons of plants at home too.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Honestly, I like every part. I really like consuming the flower. I can honestly say that the harvest is not a super enjoyable part for me.
It's hard work.
It's not the hard work. It's a necessary evil. I don't really enjoy killing the plants. I know it needs to happen. I know they were going to die anyways. It's their life process. It's just not. It's one of those things, you know. It's like it needs to happen, but I'd rather sometimes not.
That's so sweet.
No,
I guess.
I've thought about that actually. Like killing something, it's still like something that loses life, but it just goes on to whatever happens next.
But I mean, other than that,
It goes in my lungs. That's what happens next.
It's all a beautiful thing, right? Like, if I had to do only one position, I'd probably
Be smoker.
No, honestly, I'd take care of mums. Like a nursery kind of deal, or just like propagation kind of stuff. Like the mums are it's such a beautiful room, and you can spend so much time just, ensuring that every crop's going to be consistent because the mums are well taken care of and the babies are well taken care of. It's really just a beautiful kind of room to be in. It makes you feel happy all the time, right? So.
It was a great energy in there. It was like fresh and light and crisp.
Vibrant.
Like you could go read a book in there.
Yeah, it's just new life. There's always just new life going on, and the mums are always pretty, and yeah, mother rooms.
Mums are always pretty. A lot of MILF energy in the world lately.
Agreed.
I just say things, Pat. You'll learn that about me.
Hey, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. When you're right, you're right. So.
I know. Yo, congrats. You're a dad as well.
Yes. I have 2 kids. It's not something I talk a whole heck of a lot.
Oh, sorry, I don't have to go there, but
no,
I'm just
all
saying
good.
it was beautiful to see you as a father last night.
Yeah, you met the little baby. Honestly,
so nice.
I love being a father. It's a great thing. It's just like, it's weird. Times are changing. I personally only have social media for work, right?
Yeah.
It's not something I'm huge into.
You don't wanna
I'm
put
a bit
kids
of a
out there.
private person.
Respect.
And when it comes to like my kids, I'd rather them kind of stay a little more private.
Totally. You
You
don't want to
know,
have a
but-
JonBenet Ramsey up here. Come
That's
on.
it.
Just,
It's-
let them make that
Bro.
choice when they're
Times
18.
are weird, man. It's like we all watched Terminator. We all saw what happened there, and I don't know. I'm skeptical. Maybe that's just the amount of weed I've smoked, but it's.
I've gone
it's
down
one of
many
those
rabbit
things.
holes for sure. I mean, like, it's only a matter of time for AI to start duplicating humans, and where are they going to get that data from first? People are giving up their whole lifestyle identity. You will be cloned.
Yeah.
Who knows? There's 1,000 ways.
It's possible, man. It's possible.
4 a.m. YouTube rabbit hole for me.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, he like woke up in just like a horrific mood, and he was like, I was using ChatGPT, and I started asking it like specific questions, and if it couldn't say yes to say rabbit instead of yes, or couldn't say no or something,
No,
and it
yeah.
just freaked you out.
And Anyway.
It's freaking you out right now.
Pat, what's your favorite music, and do you think that music affects plants? Do you play it around the plants? Because that's a fun thing.
So we do not play music around the plants. I mean, unless people are working in the room, they do sometimes listen to music when they're in there. But there's like a bunch of proven scientific studies that kind of go out and say that music can have a positive effect. The reality is we've done studies on plants for a long time, and there's a concrete relationship between caregivers and the plant itself. So like, as much as we're not in there playing music, the reality is that just us being in there taking care of the plants, being in a positive mood,
Yes.
The plants feel that. They know what's up.
Yes.
They know who takes care of them. They kind of feel all of this stuff in a way that we don't have pure scientific reasons to explain it, but we have empirical data that shows that it's a thing, right?
It responds and it feels our vibe, and they're vibrational beings just like us. And listening to you talk about it and lead us through the steps of cultivation, I just kept saying, just like a body. Like in my head, like everything you say about the plant, the way it responds and needs oxygen, and the poetic relationship between stress and performance. With buds, same with humans. You go through something that you think would have killed you, like cold shock or something, right? And then all of a sudden you get over it, and then you're almost character-wise more beautiful because of that pain, and it's like that's how you get the bud to express. So it's like there's, I think, a deeper, as you said, unverified by science relationship with trees and humans.
Look,
That's sick.
Don't get me wrong, our cultivation at Great White North is 100% science-based, data-driven.
I know I'm pulling him into hippie town here, and he's like, just wait.
Yeah, it's like, look, there's definitely a hippie side to me that believes certain hippie things, and like I 100% believe that I don't want people being depressed going into the room, take some time off.
Yes.
But that's a hippie belief of mine that I can't, there's not a whole lot of proof on that. It's like we want people to be happy here at Great White North Growers, right?
Period.
Our staff, we want them to be happy, and it shows with the quality of the product that we put out that the people taking care of the plants are happy people, and happy people grow happy plants. For us, that's important, but at the same time, it's also 100% science and data. Like we have sensors throughout the room. We take a lot of different data points that we're collecting on a weekly basis throughout a crop so that we can ensure that we're dialing in a genetic. Like the Amnesia Haze, we're on crop number, we're almost on like crop 60 of the amnesia. Whoa. So it's like we've really dialed it in to a point where now we're kind of just making sure that the room is doing what we know it needs to do. But to dial in a genetic, it's like you're going through and you're running this genetic and you're trying little tweaks to certain areas to see what that plant truly wants, and then you're kind of dialing that into a point where you have like all of the data points that you need to really run the crop the entire way to get the peak performance of the plant. Which is kind of that's where I use the analogy of like a person working out. It's the easiest way to explain to anybody the stress you're trying to put on a plant, because like you're trying to stress the plant in micro amounts. Like you don't want to stress it too much, because like let's say when you're working out, if you go too hard on the bench press and you tear a muscle completely,
no bueno, bro.
It's super bad for the muscle, right? Whereas like if you micro tear it and you kind of stretch it, that's where the build goes up. It's the same thing with a plant. Like we're trying to increase the pressure on the plant or the stress on the plant in controlled, manageable ways.
In the perfect amount.
In the perfect amount at the perfect time, so that the plant has its peak performance throughout its life to get the most potent flower. At the end of the day, every genetic has, what do we call it? It's like a genetic potential. So it has a ceiling that genetic can hit. It's stored in its genes the same way we all have a ceiling that we can be as a peak human being if we did everything we could do 100% to perfection.
We have that information for humans, but the cool thing about you guys existing and being right now in like the first 10 years of legalization is this is R&D for an entire industry, and the first time you could legally above board do like COAs and all have these different processes be measured, and like that's so exciting, leading edge.
Also the fact that you like chaos, like you're a reflection of the plant, bro. You're like, oh yeah, when whatever life is stressing me, I'm gonna like max out my peak performance, basically.
So cool.
Congrats.
And you enjoy
That's what
it.
should
It feels
be,
good. Yeah.
I've succeeded.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not trying to sound arrogant in saying this, but I've succeeded a lot in just putting my head down when things aren't going my way.
Let's go,
and
bro.
just working. That's really what's. At the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the smartest person in the world. I don't have university degrees or any of that like plant biology background. I'm a high school graduate with a cooking DEP degree, right? So at the end of the day,
high
that's
school?
good life skills.
Congrats. Wow, more than I could say.
So I don't have all of that kind of like background, right? But what I do have is at the end of the day, when I've been given an opportunity, I've exceeded, I've worked hard, and I've done what I needed to do. And I think that's what separates the truly like best growers in the industry from, people who are just trying to collect a paycheck. At the end of the day, it has to be a passion. It has to be something you love. I'm here all the time. This is all I do, right?
Yeah.
So,
this is the ongoing debate a little bit in sort of like every aspect of the industry. It's like, should you be in weed if you're not consuming weed, or if you're not interested so much in the weed plant itself? And it's like we get a variety of responses from people within the industry. There's a lot of people that are, no, you have to consume if you're, and at any point in the industry, you should be a consumer, and then there's more people who are like,
Some people with
you know."
jobs, just like any industry.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
not everybody works in paper mill writes on.
But are you is it gonna be the best outcome if you have people that like aren't passionate about sharing this plant?
I think you have to be passionate. Like it depends on what section, right? Like you don't want to see something like, for me, if you're selling cannabis, you have to be smoking cannabis. You can't sell a product that you don't know about.
That's
so
true.
like for me, that is kind of important, that it's a little important that you consume if you're going to be selling the product. Now, when it comes to a grower, I don't give a shit if you smoke. I want you to care about plants. And you don't even have to care about the cannabis plant. You have to care about plants. And as long as you're passionate enough about plants, if you care about the cannabis plant as much as you care about, like, as much as I care about the plant, then we're going to be good, right? It's really that passion for plants that makes somebody a good grower. If you're passionate about plants and you really love what you do, you're going to want to go the extra mile every time to ensure that those plants are as happy and healthy as they can be. At the end of the day, we're working with live living organisms, so it's not something that like you can just be, I'll deal with it on Monday, or, you know, this kind of sucks, but whatever, we'll just let it go, you know? Like if a mum's decreasing in health because we're not treating it properly, and then we get bad crops out of that because of it, that's, I wouldn't say that's an issue that could be solved by somebody who specifically has to smoke, right? I think that's an issue that, like, if you're passionate about plants, you're going to be there and you're going to want to take care of that, right? So I think the industry needs people who are generally just passionate about plants, but also it kind of depends on what you do, right?
Yeah. You told me something yesterday that made me feel really good about not having any plants in my home. And it was about not having plants in your bedroom. Can you explain this again?
Yeah, I mean, there's some plants that you can keep. There's different types of plants, and I would research this before you buy a house plant and put it in your bedroom. But a lot of plants do, when they go to sleep, plants breathe in CO2 and breathe out oxygen. But when they breathe in the CO2, they use it in a process while they're photosynthesizing and all of that fun stuff. Anyways, I won't bore you with the details, but
No, please do.
There's basically a whole process that happens, but it's not all being used instantaneously. So what happens is at nighttime when the plants go to sleep, if they have any pent-up CO2 in their actual leaves, they're gonna off-gas that, which basically means they're gonna like be putting a bunch of CO2 into your room as you're trying to fall asleep, which I mean might help you fall asleep faster, but I'm not sure
Might
if you're
help
going
you
to
die.
have extra CO2 in your room, you know, so.
Yeah, nice, great. Well, I'm killing it without my plants. We're not plant people quite yet.
Congratulations
Should be.
on doing your obsession, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
That's
lucky.
sick.
Look, I think there's a combo of me being lucky and me working hard. Because, I get to live a dream that I've been thinking about since I was like 13 or 14, right? My life, I see it as a dream, right? I wake up, I get to grow pot for a living. I love every part of what I do. It gets better and better as it goes on.
This place is getting cooler too. So there's phase 1 and phase 2 and the whole crew.
Oh, yeah.
They came through.
Great
Ain't
White
that
North
true?
is going insane right now.
You
Let's be honest. We're going to keep expanding. At this point, we haven't seen the ceiling of what the Amnesia can do. We want to keep going with the Amnesia, and realistically, we don't want to be a one-trick pony. So we want to come out with new stuff as well. We're not in the means of expanding excessively and inorganically.
Now hiring 300 people.
But at the same time, it's a constant rate, right? We're going to keep building, we're going to keep getting bigger, and we're going to keep going. It's the 514 is the company you should be looking for. And at the end of the day, if you're a micro and you don't have any kind of packaging and distribution, or you're looking to get your beautiful flower on the market, that's something we do, right? Great White North packages for about 25 different brands, and you can be one of them. It's really that simple. Just call George.
Streamline
He'll
it.
hook you
We are
up.
about to
we're
see.
We're gonna bring George on. That's like a perfect bridge and a
Yeah.
perfect leeway. But yeah, man. If there's anything else kind of you want to add, I think like
Yeah, just huge congrats again on these awards to you and the entire team. I won't.
yeah. No, shout out the team. So who's in the
Teamwork.
team? You got Jesse, right?
So there's a big team here. We're
Big
about there's about 15 people in packaging, and then we have 4 people in cultivation. I mean, yeah, Jesse's our alternate master grower here. We're not huge on titles, but Jesse does the day-to-day. He runs the crew. He's the guy in the room every day. He's the guy doing what it takes to take care of the flowers, and then you got Marky and Tony running packaging with a crew of great human beings that
We
do
walked in their
amazing
room,
work.
and they were the human version of in the Men in Black when Tommy Lee Jones is taking Will Smith around and introducing him, and they were the coffee aliens, hey, and they were working. The 3 of these dudes are in there a changa, and they were old Italian
awesome.
manners, Montreal. It was amazing. I am in a movie. I don't want to say what they were doing. All that we can say is that they do things right here, even if they have to follow protocol and destroy weed. But I saw 3 men going like that, making the nicest time out of it.
Yeah, sometimes it happens, Sometimes some people, it's one of those aspects of the business, right? Sometimes
I respect
stuff
what
doesn't
you
sell,
guys
and sometimes you need to do what you got to do.
You
but
guys
yeah,
endure.
it should be fun. It
Yeah,
should be fun.
We met a lot of the team yesterday, and everyone was having a good time and so lovely and welcoming. So
Yeah,
we
you
just
can
had
feel
the
that
best
good
time here,
energy.
man.
You can feel that good energy y'all
Yeah.
got going on here.
It should be like that. I've always said cannabis should be fun. At the end of the day, if I wasn't trying to have fun at work, I don't know why I joined the cannabis
Yeah, what are we
industry.
doing?
Thank you.
It's like I've cooked. I've worked in other stressful jobs. I've worked in warehouses. I've worked in manufacturing and stuff like that. And it's just, at the end of the day, we grow weed for a living, so we should kind of be having a good time, right? It's important.
You just gotta follow what really brings you delight and joy. That's why I'm just using all this to get my porno career started.
Hey, Montreal.
God bless you, Patrick. Thank you for
514,
hanging out with
thank
us,
you,
bro.
Patrick.
Thank you for having us in your grow home.
If you had to leave the people with only one thing, and that was it, that they could know for the rest of their lives, what do you want to say to them?
Drop a gem.
I think it's all our responsibility to get out there and go destigmatize this plant. So go out, smoke a joint in public, be at that family barbecue. And yeah, I'm not saying smoke joint right next to a kid, but go and smoke weed as much as everybody's drinking beer. Be that person, man. We need to go out and we need to act like there's nothing wrong with cannabis, because there is nothing wrong with cannabis. So
God bless.
let's do that.
Thank you. Yes,
Patrick Paget, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, man. Thank you. So good.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Ready?
God, it's beautiful people here. What company, Welcome to
Look
the
at
Great
you.
White North, eh?
We are with the EVP and co-founder of 514 and Great White North Growers, and the most beautiful head of hair that we've ever seen. We've been hanging out with this gorgeous man all week. Please get your joints up for our homie, your new favorite Greek friend, George Goulakos.
I like that. That's beautiful. What a nice intro. Man.
You're the man, bro.
And it was like you said, my Greek name with a little Quebecois way. So you're gonna hang around there, really good, man.
I'm trying to reflect the energy of you, my guy. It has been magical to hang out with you. Thank you for having us in MTL.
Thank you, and you too. It was great having you come down. I think the first time we saw you, we were on the street in Toronto, and we had met on the streets.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Yep.
And one
And this
thing
is our
led to the-
first time here in Montreal.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's your
thank you for
first.
Which,
like I said.
shame on us.
Well, you found the home. I'm just saying, just get a banner and you're up. Next time you come in, I already told you that. It's all about collaboration. When we talk about Great White North and the inspiration that we have, and why we became Great White North. So,
you are full of solutions. You have, even in our time together, you've been a partner on Paradox Live, so thank you for that. We have your great Amnesia Haze. Our audience loves it. And I know more people are getting to know it in the community, but you have started something fascinating where you created a streamlined solution for growers who have a good product to get on the market through Great White North Growers. So how did you come upon that? Because you had to serve yourself with 514 first, or was that an idea first? Or because you got a great facility here, it's growing, you have an incredible grower, but you also have I call it an opportunity portal for talent, growers, and those are the artists of this industry. So Thanks for starting that. And how did that come about?
Kind of facilitator, and how a new industry needs lots of solutions. The picks and shovels of making labels in the cannabis business is a necessity. Sometimes guys don't want to go there. They're not capable of going there, and rightfully so. They just want to grow great cannabis and have great partnerships and bring it to market and bring it to across Canada.
Yes.
But in our case, to be honest, I wish I told you it was part of our original strategy.
Yes.
Because then that would really sound really smart and again.
It's always nice to sound really smart.
Yeah, but no.
So it was a pivot.
It was a pivot. Quickly where when you're a suit like I was, unfortunately I was a suit in a really suitless industry, which was broadcasting. You kind of realize things change quickly, and in our case, the reality hit where we failed on our modern growing ways, which is vertical hydroponics or aeroponics.
Okay.
That was the first swing, was
Yeah.
like a theory that was kind of you're new, this industry is new, like it's exciting. So you took a risk and it kind of flopped?
Yes.
Oh shit.
And as a like I said, as a white collar, you look at it on paper and it made sense. Less water, less cleaning, more productivity, and
But
it
Pat
sounds
was
all
telling
good.
us if one plant gets mildew or mold, or I don't know the correct term, then they all get it basically. Or so it's a huge risk kind of thing, right? Is that basically the skinny of it?
Yeah, and if Pat said that, but Pat would also say that's only one of the things can get you.
Right.
It's like a risk all over.
Right.
And when you go in this new industry, when it's live plants and there's so many variables to success beyond the humans.
Totally.
But that's another story.
It's
but
a
just
market.
The proper way of doing it, and how do you scale it, and do you want to scale it? Do you want to, because every time you scale it, you're going to give away a little bit from, the tightness of that room and that comfort of that grower has.
That has been the running combo.
Yeah.
That is like, how do you keep that artist in touch as you scaling it bigger? Because you want to always grow.
Yeah, you want to grow, so it goes back to, the people, when you think about, some great brands like Heinz that started off, making ketchup and needed more tomatoes, and they were bringing things to market. So instead of them exposing themselves, they had great partnerships that met the same standards. We call them quality agreements. When you do B2B business, there's quality agreements that it's got to fit these standards. And that's how you can grow without having to take the risk of going out to the open market and raising hundreds of millions of dollars.
Crazy that you have these skills, and you have given us some game even. Do you know this man is responsible for rolling headlines? Winnie's news segment update on the cannabis industry. You gave us that idea. We execute. Winnie's executing basically with Benny. Actually, I'm out of that one, but I'm happy to see it come to life. And so you seem to be a perpetual problem solver, idea generator, and then you weren't always in the cannabis industry because no one was. I mean, legally. So where were you before professionally, and then how did it pivot, and how did you choose cannabis? Because I love that you're a stoner. And you're, as you self-proclaim, a suit. So you're both, though, which is what I really enjoy about you. And tell me about where you were and how you pivoted into...
And you can be both.
You can be... Well, you're living proof.
Listen, I'm a proud Quebecer, and I'm Canadian.
And you're Greek.
And I'm Greek.
Come on.
You got to be multifaceted in this ever-changing world. But
the stack.
Yeah. So when you're a career, you have career, and I've talked to Pat, I've talked to my kids about it, because we're all philosophers at heart, the Greeks. You can't let a job define who you are. You are who you are, and you happen to be doing a certain job. Yeah. And if you let yourself be defined by whatever you do in life, then that's where you tend to fall when things change. And sometimes things change without your power. So, I was a 30-year selling television time. It was exciting. So I started in the 80s, and I left around 2009. I worked at Canada's finest. People would know that as CFCF.
Selling commercials?
Selling commercial time. And the great years of television, where you look at the analogies of where we are now, and cannabis is just a beginning. I tell people, especially the young ones that are in there and are doing very well, and they're transitioning from the legacy market, I just tell them it's a marathon. We're not even close to it, or maybe the game's about to start soon.
Yeah, totally. We've been shooting the puck around before the whistle is blown. Totally. Yeah.
And, there was a gentleman that I asked about 4 years ago. I asked him at dinner. I said, "Who do you think is going to be the big guy at the end? Is going to be Afri or Canopy?" And he says, "The guy probably doesn't have his license yet."
Exactly.
Totally.
Dude. Like Pat said, we stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're right. It's the first wave, and a lot of them aren't here anymore.
A lot of them aren't here anymore,
No.
and other ones are
R.I.P.
creeping up. Yeah, R.I.P.
It was to be in it from the beginning was really so cool to watch. There's always casualties in business, right? That's not new to us.
Yeah.
Some people have to lose in it. So, but like when you saw, like I was in retail, I managed a retail store. So when I saw retail
Shout out
stores,
1922.
Yeah, 1922.
yeah. But when I saw retail stores go down, I was always just like, thank you guys. Thank
Another
you for
one
your
bites the
service.
dust.
Yeah, balance is the survival of the fittest. You become open, you become who you want to be, and you don't care what someone else does. Only from a research point of view, just to learn, but you don't give up on who you want to be as a retailer or as a company. When I look at the Great White North and the great growers we have in our family and bottlers that we do the logistics for, and they're great brands, and they're all going through this for the first time because everything's new for everyone. Everyone has different situations and different markets and different complexities. Like new industries, money is always a big thing, and in this case it's more challenging when you don't have banks giving you the money, let alone you have nowhere to go. And that's
Do you think
difficult.
that'll evolve once it becomes federally legal in the States?
Yes, it'll
The
evolve as
attitude.
soon as they declassify it descheduleize it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 and
Okay.
allow banks to do business. But federally, it'll be a while, so I hear. It's been quiet with Trump in the last, he addresses it one day, and then the next day he's kind of onto something else.
He's busy. When he brought up casualties, I'm wearing a casualty, but this piece that you gave to me is absolutely beautiful. What?
I appreciate that.
Look at this.
And and I wish I could tell you I made it specially for you, and it was like made for you, but it was made for you.
Hey, would I be correct in saying that you're an optimist?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Where does that come from?
I guess spiritually, if you're full of spirit and you're faithful, I am a faithful, Christian and proud, and if you're positive and you give out positive energy, and I think in the long run, you'll look back in your life and you'll see more happiness than sadness in there. Where if you're a pessimist, well, you're bound to see more sadness because you're going to be right most of the time, but you're never going to have that joy, that great joy of enjoying the whole moment and being successful.
Beautifully said.
You go down swinging,
You bring to you what you focus on too, right? So if you look at things with a grateful lens, your next thing potentially and most likely is going to be of that positive light.
And it's hard intergenerational for a guy like myself, but like I go back to my broadcasting industry when I was the kid and all these honed salespeople, and you're talking a set amount of inventory where you have 6 minutes every half hour to sell, and who's going to grab that time and
create
all that stuff,
and then sell it on.
It became very competitive as well.
Yeah.
But I had certain markets that were soft sales where you knew you were going to get the order. You just wanted to get the big share of the money.
Yes.
And then other ones, you'd have to sell a market that wasn't really in demand. It just didn't fit that advertiser's profile. So it became more of a hard sell. But the analogies go back to the industry being what it is in cannabis, and it's new.
Yeah.
And it's culturally merging with legacy with the callers. Both need help.
Yes, we need to be that bridge more often, which I appreciate the opportunity to sometimes observe and see and sometimes be. And it's like something like a miracle plant that ends up different type of people collaborating because of it. That's kind of a beautiful thing. It forces humans different types to put their heads together. And it's like over something in the common good.
The power is, in a lot of cases, the power comes from the youth in this industry.
Yeah, we definitely need kids to smoke more weed.
We're not seeing the education though with the youth, because the youth they're popping off. They're like, we don't want to drink anymore. We want to smoke now. Like, weed is where it's at.
That's true.
But they're also smoking these like botanical infused cherry lip smacker
Kids,
fucking,
come on.
and you're like, I don't know what that's gonna do to you. Like, don't do that, But there's no like real education around that yet. We don't have
But it's
a
like
lot
Starbucks
of data.
and milkshakes and coffee, right?
Yeah,
it
no.
introduces. So yeah, what's your thoughts on that? Those products.
From 514, which is our house brand, and where we put our love and from the growing point and any products we bring to market.
This flower here.
We wouldn't go there, but and from a packaging point of view, if our clients in that business, we would allow them to do it. And if there's a market out there, and Health Canada is so strict on everything, where have they been on that, and who are we to be regulators to that point where nothing has been determined.
Yes.
Again, from a 514, I think we would never go there.
But it's in the
so
market.
many other places.
It seems
to go,
like a
right?
party
Yeah.
rather than like a medicine.
Yeah.
Feels like a distraction from it. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're not here to throw shade.
But like when you look at our Amnesia
might.
Haze, the flower, that these beautiful, awards plus our great team, why we're here and why right now, because our rooms are full of it, and then we're growing rooms, and
I just
hopefully-
love that
You
you
guys see
focus
that.
on one thing.
Go watch the vlog.
That's what we talked about. I asked you when you brought these dope ass donuts to us
Which
today.
I've eaten 2 donuts now.
Yeah, I was like, do they only do donuts? And you're like, yeah, they do donuts and
do
they do them
donuts.
right. You guys are doing Amnesia,
Yeah.
and it's like there's consistency. It's delicious. I want it on my body.
It's like they're perfect.
Just rub it. I'll just touch it, and then I'm good to go.
It's a beautiful plant.
I'm gonna smell it right now.
What a great team, and like for us. Again, when I look at the analogy, to us it's all about where we're going to be in a person's cannabis drawer.
Yeah.
We want to be the sativa.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, you're
Come check out my Amnesia.
everyone has a nice scotch in their liquor cabinet.
Right?
Exactly,
Go to your
exactly.
or a
You're the
nice
sativa.
vodka. So all we want is to be that little thing that you have your other stuff. Even if it's infused, I don't have a problem. You want to do that, but you're going to appreciate this.
This is the nice
when
sativa
you
to
really,
smoke.
yeah, and that's where you want to be in 10 years.
Yeah.
Whether it's your sativa and your indica, as Pat's going to bring his next strain to market, we can still grow more of this and share it across Canada more than we have. We've been kind of stingy with it, restricted to the size of our grow.
Yeah. So where is 514 available now?
It's
In all provinces across the country?
No, not yet. It's in Quebec. In Quebec, we're launching in Ontario. Our flower. We're in Manitoba.
In December, right?
Yeah, it's launching in Ontario, the 416. We can't wait because you know us in Toronto. We love Toronto. We love everything
We're
you've
here.
built because
We're
it's
here.
kind of like a partnership with us.
Always.
We shared our Quebec talent and you used it, and you made a great, vibrant city.
Always love.
Yeah.
And
Hear that, Toronto? They like us.
of course we like you.
I know. I think there's some weird, I haven't felt it really, but I think there's some weird stereotype where Toronto thinks that Montreal doesn't like them.
It's just the Habs and the Leafs and the win in the Cups.
This
and
is
stuff. It's
sad.
not the
Don't
people.
go there with the Leafs because it's sad and we can't do anything to make it better.
See what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about?
We catch you.
Yeah.
Give you some amnesia, you'll forget it for
Yeah,
a while.
exactly.
You go back to 1967,
I love it.
but you know.
No,
what,
but
we
I'll
can't
tell
have
you,
more than
from
that.
bud tenders and like when we're chatting in the industry or whatever, like just like the general scope of the opinion on 514 is like solid. That's what like a lot of bud tenders saying, people who smoke, and it really is, and it's consistent. And that's important for like the reputation of the plant overall in the industry, because it's like that's proven consistency that like you can have dependable medicine at like an accessible price point, but like it'll teach you about terps, you know, it'll taste like something. It'll be quality. So yeah, man, thank you for staying steady on that, because there's a lot of flip-flopping on products in the market, and it makes it tricky to have a reference to people who are new adapters.
It sounds corny, but it is all about the terps, you know. The THE, you know, they haven't really figured out a way to be consistent on the way they use the data to put on cans. You know, should it be a range? Should it be?
We're all new. This
Yeah.
this is a child of an industry.
But yeah, and certainly no matter if you expect every bud in your can to be the same THC, if you checked it individually, it wouldn't be. You know, one
Like it's
bud
gonna
would be
vary,
from-
yeah,
it's gonna
exactly,
vary.
yeah.
You know, not because they're lying, the LP's lying. It's
Because
just the way it is. They're
organic matter plants.
Yeah. So, you know, you
Different
get-
cuts of meat.
Yeah.
Different, like a pig, different cuts of meat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, different.
Right?
cuts,
For
but
a bud, like overall.
so that, you know, is going to be regulated to a point where don't force the LP to lie. Just give them a range, because in the can, no matter what, it's going
Yeah,
to
what's the cutoff of
Yeah.
THC?
Yeah.
Is there one?
In Quebec, it's 30.
That's up. What about down?
Down. Oh, yeah. Well,
20, 15?
I think, no, there's some product that's 12 to 18 in Quebec.
Nice.
But you better have high terps,
Yeah.
or you better be ready to sell 2-3 cans a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Rough.
Right? That's one of the- I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta have something.
Gotta have something.
You can't just have no THC, no
Yeah.
terps.
So you understand that, like that, you need that standout quality. Like you understand that from broadcasting days, I'm sure. And you,
Well, yeah, like any days, like anything you're doing, you know, whether you're a waiter in a great steakhouse with a good, you know, clientele, you're gonna make money, and that's the same thing. You want quality in anything you do.
Yes.
And you couldn't compete with the way some of the big guys are doing it with their shotgun approach. You know, 25 SKUs, buying it, you know, B2B to fill these SKUs, and you don't need to be in that market. You can build and make money along the way and grow organically. I'm not saying everyone should do it as slow as we did. You know, we could have been more accelerated in the process, but it's not hurting us, because it's what you spend that's going to get you into trouble. You know, and as long as you manage your expenses, you can stay in the game and jump on these opportunities that are popping up, you know,
sounds
every
like
day.
you're not scared to be patient,
Yeah,
which is
right.
no matter where people are, what industry they're in, is I think underestimated skill. Like, because you get excited, you know, and you want to go and you want to run it and gun it, and you feel like the FOMO sometimes, but it's like, no, be patient, be steady, build it step by step. You've learned how to give service along the way, leverage what you have. That's amazing.
But it's also, like, again, to put it on the table, it was by choice, right? Because no one slapped $100 million on my table and said, spend it.
What?
Yeah.
Someone give this man $100 million.
Yeah. I don't really need that much, but, you know.
All right, well, take what you need and give the rest to us.
Okay, right.
Deal.
Yeah, you need a permanent studio in Montreal.
Yeah.
Right off the top.
Here we are.
Downtown, right?
Sounds good.
But
Deal.
yeah, so that all that part of the business, you know, you're trying to build a great foundation. There's going to be consolidation in the industry. You know, the 514 will stand for quality. The Great White North will stand for credibility, logistic-wise. Some of them work within each other, the family, the Great White North family.
So you have different product providers and like kind
Under
of
their
collab?
labels, you know, it
Like-
would be Eleven's Farm that brings me his cannabis.
Yeah.
Then Winnie was the head Cultivator,
Right.
and they brought it in, in
Oh,
bulk,
yeah.
and I put it in
Beautiful.
the cans, and I did all that compliance stuff, and brought you to Toronto or brought you to the Maritimes under your own brand.
Incredible. Bravo. Dude,
Hey.
that's so ingenious.
What were you like as a kid?
Yeah, tell us what you were like as a kid.
Oh, was that like that? Yeah, it was. I had an immigrant father who was, came here in 1940. So it was very Greek. I'm a Spartan from Sparta in Greece, real southern part of it. It's a wonderful place. And my mom was a Greek Canadian, so I had a lot of mix in my life. I was never an introvert, so the world was always an oyster for me. So I met lots of people along my life, and
you
most
played
of them
hockey too,
And
right?
I played hockey, and I played hockey, and you start. I was a son of an immigrant. It wasn't a big thing in our household. It was all about going to school, and fathers didn't have time bringing their kids there. But my dad moved to a certain area and exposed me to hockey, and kind of took me to places, and I ended up going to school in the States on a scholarship and having 4 years there, and having a tryout for a professional team.
Where'd you
in
go?
Montreal.
Where'd you go?
I went to St. Lawrence University, and I was drafted very, very late by the Montreal Canadiens, and I had 2 tryouts for them.
Holy.
But it was just, hockey in those days. It's not the same it is now. It was still a great sport, and it just, you have to have something, more than just the skill sets. You got to have all the skill sets when you want to be a professional. And
Yeah.
one of them is that drive. But fortunately, I went to school, and I knew there was more in life. And there was more for my life, and that journey was over. And like
It's
we
cool
said
that you
earlier,
can shoot a puck around, though.
yeah, I had a good shot too.
You lefty, righty?
I'm a lefty.
Me too.
And I go back to I was defined as George, the hockey player, and then defined as George, the TV guy.
Now you're just George
No,
the man.
it's just George. I'm just George.
Yeah.
I just happen to be doing something.
That's your podcast name. Welcome back to Just George.
I'm
But
the
just
man.
is spelled with a J. No, I'm sorry, a G. I fucked the joke.
It's okay.
You fucked it? Oh, that was a joke?
Oh, that was a joke?
Thank God I didn't recommend him for tonight.
Do you,
Ah!
nice.
Yeah,
That
which,
was a
by
good
the way,
roast. Good
Winnie's-
roast.
That's unbelievable.
He hypes himself up. That was a diss. No, but you got Winnie on at the Nest in
Yeah, you
Montreal,
did.
so that
Yeah,
was big.
I know.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
great.
I'm so
Thank you,
excited
Ruben.
to be.
When he's doing
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
That'd be fun.
Do you think that there is something with people who play sports at a professional level, I would say, that they can endure challenge more or tolerate challenge in the rest of your life than other people that maybe didn't grow up in that structure of sports?
Yeah, for certainly certain sports, not individual sports. Those guys crack pretty easy, once the game's over, it's done. Once they start losing their confidence, there's no one to pick them up. It's between their ears.
Yeah.
Where other
Like
sports
tennis?
like tennis or golf.
Golf.
And so where you got, Pat played rugby, I played hockey. I say that the hockey dressing room is the tightest fraternity around. The bond, there's no sport that if someone hits you, 11's gonna fight
I'm gonna
that
get your
guy.
back,
You
yeah.
know, get your back like that. It's like,
Yeah, sports is
hello.
cool for that.
Not all sports are like that.
That's
you know.
football, that was-
Football
That's the
and
case.
how we're all intertwined in
Yeah.
football.
Get each
So
other's
so
back.
the resiliency we all have is when we reached a certain level of athlete, was that a big part of that, and hockey is big in that. It's big on that. I'm taking care of the guy. He's small. He's scoring 50 goals, or he's my goalie. You don't touch him. And there's
Yeah.
all these cardinal rules you used to have. Some teams I played on that if I fought you and you beat me up, as soon as you got out of the penalty box, my teammate would challenge you, and if you beat him up, then
It would go down the line.
Yeah.
someone's gonna get you,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and how to get through that, those low times. I tell a lot of my friends, not so much now, but let's say a year ago, it's like, It's like playing outdoor ice when you're playing hockey outdoor, and it's a big wind coming from the south, and you're down 7-0, and now you got a back check against the wind, and you're trying to say, "When am I doing this?" You know, but you got to finish the game. You got to finish the game.
Yeah, because you can't quit because the team depends on you.
Yeah. The whole team can't quit because you never know.
Yeah.
You get a cheap
It could
goal.
turn around.
You
gotta try.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where the sport comes into it. And
Stand
supporting
up
each other.
is a little bit like that, but solo. You
Solo.
You can be crashing, but you gotta finish
crashing.
up.
You
You
know.
can't just walk away.
No.
You gotta keep trying your best until the time is up.
Yeah, that's
then-
why those duos worked well, because sometimes the other guy lifted the other guy up, and you couldn't do it alone.
Right, yeah.
You know, the Smothers Brothers, or you had Dean Martin and Don
Jerry Lee
Rickles.
Lewis.
Jerry
Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis, yeah.
Lewis was, I think, a musician, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Jerry Lewis.
But Jerry Lewis, yeah.
Jerry Lewis, and
Yeah.
no, he just started the telethon.
Yes,
with kids.
exactly. Him and Dean, and
Yeah.
Dean pretending to be drunk.
Yeah.
Dean
And-
Pretending.
Yeah, he was not drunk. That was the inner joke between them. It was
Oh.
apple juice. He never drank. But he'd
Yeah.
pretend he was drunk, and that's why everyone would get a crack out of it.
Dean Martin was great.
Amazing. Love the duos.
Yeah.
Whole Rat Pack.
But
shout
you guys
out.
weren't even, not even
Joey-
alive. Your
Joey
parents hadn't
Bishop.
even met. That's how young you guys are.
Sammy
you know,
Davis Jr.
Okay,
When I
yeah.
first did stand-up comedy at 16, I came on stage impersonating Jim Carrey, impersonating Sammy Davis Jr., singing "Oh Canada" like with the glass eye. Yeah, I love those guys.
But you guys you went out last night and thank you. You had a good time bonding with my daughter and my
Yes, your
staff.
incredible daughter.
She wrote a book, a children's book.
Shout
called
out Katina.
The World from My Window. Yeah, amazing. This is
Yeah.
incredible. You sold out of these books, right? This is like huge. You have such talent. You make
well,
great humans. Congrats.
Thank you. They got to be good and great humans, and hopefully don't waste the opportunity to be curious all your life. And 'cause that's what's going to keep you young.
I
That's
love that.
beautiful.
Just.
Yeah, we've
everything
had a
has
great
story.
time here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, I'm not sure if it's how y'all roll, who you know, where we're going or something, but I'm like, if this is how Montreal is, this is fire. I could spend definitely more time here and will.
And you guys are originally from west, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Vancouver, but now we definitely like kind of rep because we've lived in Toronto for so long that it's like I feel from Toronto. But yeah, originally Vancouver.
Yeah, Netherlands.
And Canada.
BC,
yeah.
Alberta.
BC, so
Yeah.
mostly Vancouver.
And then
That's-
LA is a chosen home. Like you spent time in LA too.
Well,
right?
I got married in LA, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I moved back, or fortunately, I moved back. At the end, you can't look back on that. But you enjoyed the facility. It was great. Pat
Oh, it was
showed
so
you a good
good.
time.
Dude, this
Oh my
has
gosh,
just
it's been fantastic.
Excellent. Like dreamy, perfect. Yeah, we shot some great content, and yeah, you guys are doing beautiful work. It's nice to get down.
But the challenges will always be there, and people like yourself, the people that are also exposing the industry for what it is, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. You're showing facilities, right? You're
We're
exposing.
documenting this time period as
Yeah.
best as we can, and it's a fascinating time. And I know in like 40 years, this vlog has the potential to be literally shown in universities. I don't know in what capacity. Maybe we're doing a great job. Maybe we're doing a horrible job, but we're fucking doing it. So it's like sick.
Well, think of these channels that I have on these podcasts where you join a network of people doing this.
Yeah.
And on that podcast, they get to hear great people like yourself and other great influencer creators,
yeah.
all on one channel with different programs and.
You're a
different
dreamer.
topics.
See what I'm saying? Like, you keep ripping, and you have a vision, dude.
Yes. Well,
It's
because
so
things
sick.
repeat itself in
Yes.
life, right? And if we don't learn something was successful in the past,
Yes.
that it could be
It's gonna happen
replicated
again.
with a little tweak for that industry, then we're fooling it.
'Cause-
We're not going to take advantage of everything.
Yeah.
It's right in front of you.
You've
you
seen
know.
a couple times of like this happening. We're talking about this. We've seen Bitcoin happen. We've seen the non-asset company boom happen. Airbnb, Uber. There's another one too where you sell stuff. But like we've seen a couple things come and go or boom and whatever, and then it's like you're right. It's only a matter of time for you to catch on to like look for current trends.
And then
like, how's this gonna play out?
Yeah, and how to be nimble, how to take advantage, how to de-risk it.
Leverage.
You know,
Ooh,
you can-
de-risk it. Talk about this. How do you de-risk something?
Well, you de-risk something, but you know you have
An
a
out.
company or an out that needs that service.
Yeah.
You look at the downside of how protected. In our case, it's our relationship with the provinces. Your SKU is sold through us, so it's a little bit less risky if I didn't control your SKU and packs.
Right.
Because I'm not going to ask the small guy when he started. He had no money. He had to, come to market. You're not going to force him, or you wouldn't have that model, that business model that you have now. But which will always evolve as well. With Great White North now and how they interact with their clients might be different in 5 years from now.
It's likely that it will.
Probably will be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Things are changing so rapidly.
We certainly gonna, within our
with them,
family,
too.
within our family, you're gonna have some successful companies. Will they stay with us or decide I'm gonna go on my own?
And
those
that's
are all
great, too.
things. And those are, like we had at the beginning, we had 3 great growers that didn't have their licenses, and we brought them to market, and they got big enough where they had their own packaging, and they brought themselves to where they wanted to go.
So they
That's-
rode your magic carpet to the finish line.
That's like
Yeah,
the best
exactly.
compliment to
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Yeah.
That means that
Right?
you're birthing
Yeah.
stars.
There'll always be room for people like us, and the more we evolve, the more services we can provide. We're really looking internationally now. We're trying to build our network into Europe and provide other outlets for our growers to sell their cannabis,
Sick.
because it is going to get commoditized a little bit.
Yep. At some point, yep.
Fucking
When
fascinating.
do you remember the first time you got high?
Yeah.
It's probably about 16 years old.
Okay, that's a
16
little
years old.
older than the average that we have on this show.
And
Yeah.
I played every day in college. We had to skate. So you couldn't really indulge
Too
as
much.
too much. We weren't angels by no means. No, when I went to the training camp, they were walking in with cigarettes in their mouths, and the professional hockey players.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
It was
Well, it was
between periods.
probably like good for you back then.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
just the
think it's
marketing.
good. I think
Cigarettes
it's good.
were
I think
actually
it's good for you
you
now.
back
I
then.
think. I don't know, man. I'm the worst guy here. I'm still smoking terrible, and I'm a bad influence. But
That's okay, but you just listen and believe the news, and they'll continue to tell you that smoking.
What do you
is
mean you're a
healthy.
bad influence? I don't think
I'm-
you're a bad influence.
I'm smoking cigarettes. Bad.
It's
Well, I
okay,
said
don't
just
protect
pat.
yourself.
It's just pat I get.
Okay,
Nobody else.
all right.
And my partner Peter, every time he comes back from Toronto, he asks for a cigarette. What's the story with that?
What's the story with that?
Every time my partner Peter goes to Toronto, he comes back and he starts
He
smoking
needs
again.
a cig.
Smoke breaks. That's what you know.
But and then you're gonna come back because this was your first time in Montreal. You're gonna come back, eh?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you like
We're gonna
it.
come live in this facility. If you
Yeah.
don't mind.
But-
Yeah, this is our new
Fine.
home now.
We're gonna build out a Paradox Live permanent stage in your back warehouse.
You're gonna see us every day.
Run shows once a week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you should. I
Thank
think
you.
You should.
Okay, there you go. You guys heard it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
On location
Congrats.
here in Montreal, 514. Let's go.
This was so fun. Great to see. Any closing words to drop a gem on someone if you had to put all of the wisdom you've learned in life so far into one sentence or paragraph as a sentiment? What would it be?
Oh man, I don't want. Again, you're gonna. I don't. You're hitting me. You're hitting me. But I would say just stay curious, stay positive, keep moving. It's hard, man. It's hard, and do what's good for yourself. Everyone has their own formula. You're a married couple. What works for you guys might not work for someone else. There's no formula. It's only about commitment, and love, and giving out good vibes. Give out good vibes. You usually get them back. When those guys that said they came to Montreal got bad vibes, maybe they should look in the mirror, and vice versa. When we Quebecers go someone else, maybe they should look in the mirror and say, that's why that guy would give me that cuss word.
It's
But anyways,
always a good excuse.
Yeah, we can
to
just
look
love
in
each
the
other.
mirror.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
start off loving, and if you don't like the vibes, move on. The guy's gone.
Your
One-
new favorite Greek. I told you. God bless. Thank you so much.
Ciao,
Appreciate you. Wow.
Ciao.
Awesome. Tell a friend.